game. All right, I gotta be quick and fast about this because must be on my ass now because I'm, we out here, we building, P. You know what I'm saying? We got some haters out here. No one understand that, the haters are not from here. I want to make sure we all Gucci. It's the cluster B personality disorder, P. A lot of things going on. So just jumping into the whole little, the Moorish situation, as far as like getting in, striving to get in with the indigenous, people in America now. A lot of things going on. I have to do that because Muzz rolled up on me, threw some water at me. Fortunately, I had my locks, they were blocking, it was tied up, so it's like, boom, it went over my head a little bit. I didn't even notice it really. It was like, it sounded like some little graphic kids or something, some white kids, but they call them Holly kids. So yeah, you got me these accusers now, shit. We ain't the ones out here, selling, in the world nowadays, niggas is striving to heal, We want everybody to be happy to a degree where everybody can eat. That's all we always been about. Anybody who ever did a knowledge to America history, that's what it's always been about. Besides, watching what they told us in America. So yeah, man. A lot of the Moors, they're really, and a lot of these Moors, man, they from America. A lot of these niggas is from America, man. They really bigging up the whole science of the Moor Empire, and the Moorish Empire. And a lot of things that's going on with that. I mean, I like that, that they follow. And I liked it. I looked at it too. I seen the nobility of black folks in Europe, and like, we came from Europe too, and somehow, some way we got overtaken and all of this stuff like that, and shit like that happened. Ruling from 700 to 1492, that sounds really good, So I mean, I liked it, that stuff. You're dealing with the Moors history, especially when you didn't have a history in America. We ain't had no history in America, so as we grew, we seen that Moors had like nobility in Europe. So yeah, we're like, okay, that's what's up. I'm a king, you know what I'm saying? But that's all in Europe, and we see a lot of Othello type shit going on in the world. And we strive to attach ourselves to some type of nobility in that situation. But however, and a lot of the Moors that's from America, the niggas is from America, niggas is really striving to attach themselves to the Europeans, to the European niggas. And it's like, it's looking kind of floppy right now, man. Because we're gonna break it down. Peace, bro. We got to keep the vibe up high because, we know, they know, Mosai know we're doing, well, Mosai got us doing the work. Yeah, all the babies out here in every facet of life. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, without having to be in their schools and curriculum, shedding all the old lies and things of that nature. So now we're here learning the science of, the heavens now and over the lands, and why Moors are just so pressed to be in America and shit. Like, why these mothers are so really so pressed to be like, yo, man, I'm American, and I like brothers who talk about the Moors. I understand, you know what I mean? We want to have something to relate to because we was, in such a broken down mental and emotional state, dealing with a cluster B personality disorder, gaslighting, projecting the individuals, crazy making people that was on us, yeah. But when we start to sit down and really look at the story, you see that some people who claim the Moors that were really niggas from America, and they still claiming it, they don't want to like really let it go. I'm talking about let's let it go over there. That's their shit. We're dealing with false gods and false prophets on that side. In America, in Guatemala, we got straight up real deal, true connection to the creator, the all source, and our ancestors. Let me do the now, because mothers know that, we dropping these jewels, man, and I don't like to say it like that. It sounds like egotistical, but that's really what it is, you know what I mean? Because now we're breaking out the science of heavens and on earth and how we get to it and how the heaven is within by, seeming retention. But basically, this element seen raising that light to the crown chakra at key moments and key points throughout the year, So we'll learn how to do that now, especially in the year of the lambs coming up. I ain't that a quickie. So yeah, the Moors just don't want to give it up. They finding ways to put shit on AI, like, yo, they add they little, the Moors, and we made the temple. Like, no, hold up, man, hold up. All the temples we had was in the Amaru first, and then everything went around to the rest of the world. That's when shit got switched up. We had false gods who wanted to play false Christ. You had false gods like Anu Hassas was one of the first ones, and a false Osiris who came into the game with Thothma. And these beings were striving. They were always talking about reincarnation and perfecting the physical body and things of that nature, when the Most High creates everything as knowledge, which is infinite, which deals in equality, so you can show and prove the God within. And you don't just be limited. I got, gang soccer and shit. They're over there like, what the hell? But I'm tucked under. I got the thugs over there. They hold me down. Y'all hold me down? Okay. Hold me down? Oh, I don't want to shake over them. Like, we cool. So, so dealing with these heavens over these lands, like in Europe, where Christianity was really established, where you have, Ethiopia, all that shit, the Bibles was over there. That type of shit was over there after they done came and abrogated stories from where we lived at. Now, when we're talking about false Christ, LOOAMONG, this is the angel that inspired Constantine to come up with the Roman Catholic Church. Constantine just didn't come up with this shit on their own. These are mortals that can see sargas, which is spirits, and listen to motherfuckers, and they learn the science of what the ancients have taught, what we have taught thousands of years prior. That's why nobody never talk about what's going on in America. They make you want to think that everybody's in America. Oh yeah. Like, nah, nigga, you don't know what's going on in America. You know that it's a righteous land type shit, and the whole goal is to get to America and to get into the heavens. How you do this? You make false heavenly kingdoms. He said, peace. He said, forever. Okay, I have to read that a little bit later. I do want to read into it because the sun is kind of blazing on him. He said something about the Israelites. But I do deal with the Israelites who are the true natural faithists. Like in our land, we had natural faithists, but they're all around the world as well. So there's true prophets that were sent all around the world, and there were false prophets. After the false prophets were sent, they had their little false saviors and all these different things. But that's on their land, in the land of like Hellas, which is Asia, China, Chinese. That's the true prophet you got over there. And then you got all kind of things going on. But we're just going to deal about JIBRIL and LOOAMONG. JIBRIL is Gabriel. So Gabriel was basically LOOAMONG's right-hand man. And Gabriel was like the nigga who went around with the sword, getting the Judas, the low vibratorial spirits, or jinn, that he later called them in the Quran once he made his religion based off of what LOOAMONG had laid down, because he really laid down the foundation. He was a right-hand man. LOOAMONG was just like, yo, I'm gonna promise you a heavenly kingdom if you do this, that, and the third, and subdue this shit for me, and make me the Christ, like basically the false Christ. So yeah, JIBRIL did all that shit, and he didn't get what he was promised. But in the meantime, JIBRIL was building up his kingdom as well, and his followers, which later on he ended up finding the prophets, which he sent out, his lures, which were messengers, to sample the thinking of the people. This is where you get the NOI talking about this shit. Sample the thinking of the people and multiply their thoughts and see what their thoughts are going to produce, and see what type of person is going to produce, which family is going to produce a spirit or a mortal that can see sargas and hear sargas. And they found Muhammad, only the Most High Creator. Allah is the God. That's it. You know Arabic, you know that how he says alif ba ta ba shin kaf or down ba ra sha. You know the whole alphabet. So you'll see that it really means the God. It doesn't mean the omnipotent all breath, as they got it from what we had. We had multiple languages and shit. We had a multitude of languages. We had a language that was so cold we only read it. We didn't even have to speak it. We just read it. It's Hebrew dialect. We can read it. And so when you're dealing with these Moors that's trying to get into our land, they got all this. They was dealing with LOOAMONG and JIBRIL. They were murderers. They spread their religion by the sword. So now their time is up. So when I mean their time is up, their heavens done filled up with so many followers that these followers caught hold of what they were doing, and they tied these spirits all in a knot where it was just like suffocating these motherfuckers, where they couldn't breathe, and just you can't kill a spirit because they already died. They live a physical life already. So they already been caught up. You can see this as evidence of what's going on in the world now, because everything's not spread by sword. You got the residue of mugs that's coming out that's like they might witness to you and shit, sending little badass bitches to you like, Jesus, baby, like, you little thick ass motherfucker, you gonna show me? You know what I'm saying? They, shit like that. And it's like, this is where celibates are coming at, because that's what they're gonna be doing. It's the next thing. It's the next wave, big dog. Hey, now, how you doing? And this, I want to see the name. I got the sun coming on the NAGA, man. And so, I got to sit back. Once I'm touching on this real quick so we can get in tune with the spirit world, so we know, like, what we're dealing with. Because we're dealing with the heavenly realm. These are false heavens. So this is why Most High not letting no false prophet or no false savior raise up in our land and shit. You know? So they got shit on their shit because they abrogated the books that they found in our shit. And so when JIBRIL came into the game, he taught Muhammad. Boom, boom, boom. That's still the whole little conspiracy, whatever they say, is connected to the Roman Catholic, right? So that's all connected through spirit or S world, which is like that shit's popping in that world. That's why they market into your spirit so they can get you to go into their heavens under Islam or whatever. Either way it goes, them false gods already been caught and they serving their time, and all they're doing now is have to be through the light of individuals like myself. They're inspiring their one followers that they led astray back to the all spirit. They have to. And I'm not saying I was led astray, but they just have to do that because for individuals like me who lived the science, who lived through, you know, Islam, who did the whole little, I know brothers done did it and shit, done did Sunni, you got brothers that did Hebrew, but you know, it's a lot of Islamic brothers out there and shit, you know what I mean? So the only reason why we took to it is because it seemed like something of peace, you know? They were spreading war through peace, and this is how they built up their false heavenly kingdoms. And this is why they try to do that in our land. And it's hard to do, to build up false heavenly kingdoms in our land, so they have to get us to kill and fight one another and shit. For us to self-sabotage in that personality disorder complex that we got. So yeah, with the Moors, just go ahead and just let that go. Because what if we do claim it? What's going to happen? Everybody's going to find their lineage, you know what I'm saying, to go back over to the land, you know what I mean? Now Most High, like he said, he's going to show you through the ones who never even went through a school, which is his own philosophers and scholars. That's going to break it down to show you that the connection came from the mainland, which is Mississippian culture. Shout out to We Know the Truth now. He's adding into the game, adding on to the cipher. The cipher is truth, energy, force, and magnetism, you know what I'm saying? And we're using knowledge as the foundation to refine and to remove anything that's trash or filth that was in the cipher before. Like we thinking that, well, man, this, that, and the third. No. It's not like that. So we have to know some form of history so we can be able to bring down heaven on earth within our own being first. Once we do this, we're going to be Gucci. Everything's going to start magnetizing. Your Kundalini is your magnetism. Once you start raising it up, it's like everybody's going to be on alert. They know that me saying this now is like, they don't like that shit. That's why they be sending, I already know when they be sending, when they be on that little spell work. Remember, the true Sabbath was on the new moon. Whereas, you know, individuals is doing the Sabbath on, like, you know, Saturday and shit. And that's Satan's day. Remember, they showed you how the Jews in the world or whatnot, they got that little box on their head that represents Saturday. We ain't had no shit like that. You know? So we followed in accordance to the sacred days of the moon. This is how JIBRIL was able to keep Islam up kind of cold. You know what I mean? Because nobody didn't know. Like, that was a good cold secret. Because he was coming in with the game. We was talking about, yo, man, we was bringing in what the Hebrews forgot. And we just finished, you know, completing it. It's like, nah. Like, even the false prophet Malachi York, even though they don't talk about the true heavens, you know, he'll talk about certain things, but they never did the Sabbath like that. Like, truly honoring the Sabbath. Like, regardless of how many religions you studied, Malachi and Nuwapians, how they try to guide the people to the, you know, to these, the true part of these religions, it never stuck to the Sabbath. That was the main reason to do all of the damn religions, so you can link up the Sabbath. But now, that shit's over with. You could have did and you didn't do it. So all the religions is truly linked up through the Sabbath energy. It's not even, the religion ain't got shit to do with us. It's just our way of life and living, because we live accordingly to, you know, cosmos, the X in the sky. But Malachi York said ain't no X in the sky. There is an X in the sky. It's the zodiac. It was given to us by true Osiris. Now we have false Osiris, who was one of the false gods, who was one of the most powerful false gods. He went over to a place in the desert and built the pyramid, just like how it looks over in our shit. Like, nigga, you build the pyramids over there? Because he was a false god. He took a false title. When he came down to he had a false title. And Hassad gave this nigga a false title, man. Let's go ahead and get into this shit. And he just thought he was this nigga, so he thought he was that nigga so much that he was like, yo, man, I'm this, that, and the third. So he understood the science of, you know, heavenly kingdoms and how to foundate them. And so he paid attention to his leader, basically, or his elder, Anu-Asaj. So he knew how to manipulate all the other guys to be able to get them to turn on themselves so he could be the last one standing and allow mortals to have freedom. But he also made mortals to be idolizers of himself. Him in the form of man and woman, Isis and Osiris, or Isis and Osiris. Then you had the baby, which is the Heru. But we already had some predated to the false Egypt of the baby. And that dealt with the light, what we call, well, Brahma, the science of Brahma, the Zarathustrians, which is basically, we can just put it in that concept. We already had the Heru and the, you know, the marriage story. That shit is in our land. And so they took all of those, they had to keep Mary and Jesus in there somehow, some way, as it just trickled down, as the false gods was getting caught up and their heavenly kingdoms was turning on them. Everybody just kept little pieces and just continued on and just added their little lie in. Now we're at the point where the Mormons is at now. You know what I'm saying? And the Owaski. They got to add in a little bit more of the truth in the game. So we're at this point. We're now in the point where, okay, Most High create galaxies and stuff like that. We can go to different galaxies and da-da-da-da. You know, that's what they're saying now, okay? So, but they just taking little bits and pieces out of the library that they found in the Amaru when they came over. We got a different science, different story about creation. You know, they took the story of creation from Anu-Asaj, and that's where the Christians get all their shit from. That's not what we wrote down. That is like true, like what they say, true Hebrew or true Israelites. True Israelites, that the Adam and Eve story, we weren't talking about that shit. That's not ours. That was from the false god, 6-day false day creation. That's the false god story. So remember, they took the book and abrogated it through Constantine, man. We can't take everything word for word because we'll become 85ers at that point, which is someone is like spiritually truly dumb, deaf, and blind, and can't even use their intuition to see the origin of light. The origin of light, you know, basically, it's not really the sun. It's illumination in your mind, the connection to the all-source creator. Only niggas really got that. They're the highest inspirers on earth to do good. So you get the most highest inspirers on earth to follow you, nigga. Oh man, you the shit then. You feel like the shit. You like, oh man, I feel validated now. Especially when you're dealing with narcissistic entities who want to rule another motherfucker. In our land, we didn't want to rule nobody. We know that the Most High ruled everything. We honor the Sabbath, you know what I'm saying? We show that we honor the Sabbath, but we still chill on like a Saturday type shit. You see how we kick it. But once we line it up with the moon, it's like boom, it'll really be cold. Because we'll be kicking it on those days, all that the same way as we do on a true Saturday. So yeah, y'all, the Moors and, you know, the Moors, they really want to hold on, man. I don't know if we're gonna get anything for holding on and going to the Capitol and saying that we're this and that. Them cards came out. I remember the Moor cards. That was something else, you know. But now we got a little understanding where Islam come from, you know, how it was brought. Most High don't have to do that. Most High don't have to do that, man. Most High is all source, all spirit. It's the all breath. So getting in tune with the Creator through the heart is the best way. That's a lot of people gonna hurt a lot of people, gonna trigger a lot of people because they see you naturally being yourself. A lot of people ain't even really people. You know, like animals, man. People are really animals right now. They're not even people. They're like your pets. Like if you, when your pet don't do something, do you say, now get down from there? Do you say it nicely to your pet or to an animal? You can't really talk to an animal like calmly and shit. This animal is really smart. So you can't really talk to an animal that's really, you know, that's like, you know, sitting there and trying to reason with this mother. You gotta be like, no, hell no. And you gotta force it with an animal. You're dealing with beings that are in an animal state, animal being. They want to keep you in the animal, want to put you in an animal state, an animal being, have you lip wrastling and tongue wrestling with these motherfuckers. And you got these niggas that's acting just like them. Want to tongue wrestle every day, making posts every day about that we Moors, and don't want to accept the fact that niggas are naturally from the daggone elements, G. Like, no, we're aboriginals, G. Don't even gotta worry about that. We already broke everything down. So you either are proving that you're agents and you're getting paid for shit, and you're trying to sway the new generation, or You just a dumb motherfucker, man. You just don't change. You don't see the shit changing. So that's what I'm saying. Mugs need to stop having sex for a second, man. Repent, man. Pay them tithes, baby. Pay them tithes, yo. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no way you're gonna reason with a lip wrestling motherfucker when it comes to that. Because I'm gonna stop talking. It's like they're just gonna be talking about that shit about we Moors for forever. Trying to rock the feathers and shit the way we rock and all that. Like the Egyptian adepts. That comes from LOOAMONG and false Osiris and them niggas, man. The Egyptian adepts, Thotma, he was a king. So the false Osiris was able to coax this nigga to do all his dirty, faulty deeds. These are spirits, man. These are angels. These niggas are thousands of years old, man. Hundreds of thousands of years old, and live in atmosphere, which is the atmosphere of the earth plane, G. These motherfuckers know. You just now figuring this shit out. So it's like, when they talking about adepts, they're trying to be like us and mastering mastering the spirit while in the flesh and being able to be in the actual zone and something like astral travel, but not really. Whereas they were doing it for an evil state and a corrupt state of building up their false heavenly kingdoms. Is that right there? Get there. Yo, what's happening? So, you know, we don't really want, most I ain't gonna have this shit. We got the butterfly, we got the thugs, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have the haters and everything, because why you building the temple up now? Now you're not busting no nuts no more. That's what they see. They see niggas ain't gonna have sex no more. You know, now you see that you're doing with an animal. You can't talk to an animal like how you think you're talking to him. We was talking to animals like they were human, like they were like, you know, more than 3/5 of human or some shit. And I'm not saying this to bash nobody, but it's like, it's a clear reason why we're not supposed to be around each other, unless one's in the master class and one's in the lesser. But we were switched up. That's why they was talking to us like we were animals. Like, shut up, boy. They still do that shit. Like, they have a reason. They get uniforms and display their toxic authority through the cluster B personality disorder to yell at you in your face. You're gonna do what I say. Like you're an animal, G. And you're right now, you're the new nigga. Like, you got light in the frontal lobes and shit. You thinking a whole nother way. They're like, nah, nigga. Now it's like the tables turn, so they know that you're gonna be like, you shut the fuck up, and they're gonna be like, oh, he's yelling at me, resisting. It's like, nah, you're talking to animals. Like, they talking to you, they thinking you're an animal and shit. You yell at an animal and the animal don't do right. You don't reason with a lion and say, sit down, do this now, I'll give it to you. Like, you do that to a little baby ass animal, but not to no motherfucking gorilla or no big ass motherfucking tiger or no shit. Get your ass ate up. Just the same thing you're doing with this clever ass animal. This motherfucker can think and reason and shit. I mean, reason to a degree where it can mimic. It can't be like you because it can't get into your heavens and shit. But it can mimic shit like you, though. Do little things like you. But it can't maintain it, like to create something new. Now that hip-hop was created, we see it now. It was, what, 30, 40 years later, people are doing breakdancing and shit. We're about to be on to something else. Niggas damn near floating off the ground now and shit when they dance and shit. It's like a whole different ball game. You know, it's called inspiration and connected to the source and connected to the all source. And all the faithers and all the iron ones, or anyone who's connected, who is considered an Israelite by nature, is the ones who receive these downloads. How to do these things, how to weave certain way, how to make certain clothing a certain way. They're all the whole tribe like, damn, that's the code. Oh, that's how Most High work, because Most High is code. So you're dealing with animals, sheep. So it's like, either you're gonna go deal with these animals. In a certain sense, if you gotta go work for an animal, man, it's like, you know, in the narcissistic sense, whether it's black, white, Asian persuasion, where they're in the animal sense, their 666 personality, you know, complex, and you know, they eating 666 carbon-based food. They think they're carbon beings and shit like that. Well, niggas thinking they're carbon beings and shit, but you know, they know they carbon beings and shit. We crystal beings, you know. It's a whole different ball game. We deal with the all spark over here. We transform the energy and transmute the energy, you know. So anyhow, you're dealing with them type of energies, man. Yeah, you're gonna be feeling lesser than. You're gonna take on their energy, and you're gonna need to be validated by them constantly. Now you're growing out of this shit. So when the breakup is inevitable, so you gotta heal yourself. The Moors gotta go back to where they at. I'm going somewhere out of control. Hey, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop up off of this, man. Y'all up in the game. I was trying to do 30 minutes of the whoops, you know, but I guess I ain't. But yeah, that's what we on, Pete. Let the Moors go and handle their things, you know what I mean? They kind of acting like Jehovah's Witnesses, and they kind of like trying to witness them even more. Like, well, look now, see how the Moors, like, man, okay, man. Go out and camp somewhere in nature, man. Sit on the ground, dig your feet in the soil or something, man. Sleep outside under the sun, man. Can you do a day? I don't even know niggas that can do 2-3 days outside. Nigga. We already been outside already, G. Man. Come on, so it's like, you know, these mothers can't really tell you shit. We like nature and shit, you know what I'm saying? It's a difference. These beings want to get in your heavens. They kind of carrying on this little jealousy thing that they got going on from their side of the world, from that side of the world, and these niggas may not even be connected to these niggas. Like, nigga, you ain't even connected to them. You most likely have fans that they ain't never been over there before, ever in their life. And you over here talking about you with them, nigga. Like, no, you need to let them niggas go, repent, become celibate, nigga, get the crown, get the light to the crown, try to be the true Christ consciousness. That's the only way. Unless you're gonna follow false gods who's already been, whose shit's crumbling now, right now, nigga. You gonna fall with them? It don't make no sense. You might as well go ahead and roll with us. So love you, peace, I appreciate you. Do I need some? Yes, I need some. Oh man, so I need some of that, but also, you know, some love. You know, you gotta be a good intent. You have to be intended. You know what I'm saying? That's the currency, but I do need some. Let's see, what bro? It says, are you around the way? Said, love you, appreciate you. Yeah, so they tried to attack me today physically. I knew it when I first got up. I'm gonna say this real fast. When I first got up, they can tell. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they don't like when I'm saying this to everybody. I can be as real as I can. I'm open. They know it. And I'm gonna show the whole chart. We're gonna be looking at each other. Our sign is gonna be our cosmic insignia through our birth charts. Whatever you're, whoop, 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 that's your name. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it's gonna be. Like, what's your name, bro? You'll naturally know the birth chart because it's like a clock on a person. You'll know without having to say a name. You don't even have a name for them, but in your spirit, you'll know their name. You know. So anyhow, I knew it when I was rising up. You know, I'm outside, so the spirits don't know exactly where I'm at, but they know, they got an idea. And you know, fortunately, they're kind of like still dependent on shit that's in the physical. You know what I mean? And they use other physicals to try to, you know, to do their little dirty deeds and do their little drugs and shit like that. So they kind of forget after a while. But I seen them sending certain flies and shit like that. And I woke where my sunrise where I be, it usually just is me. And it's just a whole bunch of people. When I seen the flies coming up, I'm like, all right, these you know, beings or whatever you want to call them, coming through. And they may mean well, or they may be projecting that they mean well. But I'm dealing with this cluster B personality, and I'm seeing that, you know, a lot of people are on that projecting, on that mask thing, you know. So it was something, and I just seen how it is. So later on, somebody tried to hit me with a little cup of water. I'm like, oh, you little motherfucker. But yeah, one side's on it though. With that being said, I love y'all. Thanks for joining in, and I'll deal with y'all in the next one. Peace. One time for the cabbage patch. One time for the cabbage patch. Nah, that's like old school shit.